criminal prosecution, reasonable doubt. This is Attorney Clay Dawson of the Dawson Law Firm to discuss with you why the state has the burden of proving their cases beyond a reasonable doubt. It's not fair. That's what I hear all the time. Why does the state have to carry such a heavy burden? Why do they have to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt? That's not fair. And prosecutors cry to the jury, we got this burden to prove. We don't have to prove our case beyond any doubt. We don't have to prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt, like anybody knows the difference. Is there a difference? All they're trying to do is tell the jury, don't make us have to prove our case beyond a reasonable doubt. Give us a break. We're the good guys. I tell you what, if you're being prosecuted, you don't think they're the good guys. And if you're being prosecuted, they don't treat you like you're a good guy, that's for sure. Burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Well, why? Well, let's look at it from a sporting event perspective. The state is State University. The defendant is junior college. And the state, in this scenario, they can call up junior college and say, we're going to play a game next Friday. And we already have picked the field, we picked the officials, we picked the kind of game. What kind is it, says at junior college? What is the game? Well, we decided that we're going to play football. We have a football team. We've practiced. We have a game plan. And you're going to come to our place next Friday, and we're going to play. And if you lose, you're going to jail. And junior college says, well, wait a second. We don't even have a football team. We haven't had any time to prepare. And why do you get to pick the game? In real life, that's exactly what we're talking about. Let's look at it from a juror's perspective. A juror sitting in the jury box, having been picked, having gone through questions to make sure the jury can be fair and impartial and all of that. And jurors all say that they are. The juror looks out, and the table closest to the jury box, that's where the district attorney is sitting. And his prosecuting witnesses, his detectives, his police officers, maybe another assistant district attorney, because they have a whole team of them. They could use any of them they want to. And guess what? They're all trained, skilled trial lawyers. And that's all they do is they try cases day after day after day, probably in the very same courtroom that juror is looking out in right now. Those district attorneys are there all the time. They pick that courtroom. And guess what? They picked the charge too. They picked what charge to bring against the defendant. The defendant didn't have a say in it. And they picked when they brought the charge. They had all the time in the world to prepare the best case they possibly could against that defendant. He didn't have time. He didn't get to pick when he was going to be charged. He didn't get to pick what charges they're going to bring against him. And they already had their trained, skilled trial lawyers. He didn't have a lawyer. He didn't have a game plan before they charged him. This courtroom, the DA picked it. The judge, they knew who the judge was going to be when they scheduled the case for trial. And that's how it's done in North Carolina. The state schedules cases for trial. It isn't done by the judge. It isn't done by trial court coordinator. So the DA picks what cases are going to be tried in front of what judges. And you don't think that they judge shop? Let me tell you, as a defense attorney, if I could, I would judge shop. I want a judge that's going to be favorable to my case and to my client. So you can bet that they're going to. So that now the juror looks across, and there's a table further away. And there'll be, the defendant's going to be on that one, and this defense lawyer is going to be over there. And they're harder to hear than the district attorney. They're harder to see than the district attorney because they're further away. They may be a good 12, 15 feet further away, maybe even further, I don't know, depending on the courtroom. So the defense lawyer, when he's talking to the witnesses, and guess what, the witness box is close to the jurors, is furthest from the defense attorney and the defendant. So they don't hear as well. They have to speak up to be heard. The defendant has to speak up just to be heard by his own lawyer because the jury box, the witness box is going to be so far away. Witness box is close to the jurors. It's not too far from the state. So you have those things. Those are all advantages. Every advantage you could think of goes to the state. They get to pick everything. And they get to pick who their investigators are. They get to pick what evidence that they're going to prosecute with. It's difficult for a defendant. They don't have all the wealth and resources of the state of North Carolina. The defendant doesn't have a team of trained, skilled trial lawyers to sit in and defend them. He doesn't have the investigators that have been available to the state. He doesn't have crime scene analysts available to him. Most of these people can barely afford to make ends meet before they've been charged. Many of them living from paycheck to paycheck, if that. They don't have the money that the Duke Lacrosse kids had when they defended their case darn well, didn't they? They had a whole team of trial lawyers and they had investigators and experts. You're not going to see that very often. That lawyer's going to do the best job he has with the best resources he can get. He's going to argue his client's case to you. And you know what? The prosecutor gets the last argument. He gets the last word. He gets the first word and he gets the last word to the jury. When the defense lawyer at the end of the case argues to the jury, by that he's trying to tell you why he thinks that you should acquit his client. Usually it's because the state hadn't proved the case beyond a reasonable doubt. The defendant shouldn't have to prove his innocence. He is presumed innocent. And frankly, the state shouldn't bring a case against him unless they have evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. But they do, and they overcharge. They charge him with things that they didn't do, but they're hoping that they can throw enough stuff there that it'll stick, and maybe they can pressure somebody into pleading guilty to something they didn't do. So after the defendant's lawyer argues to the jury, then the state gets to go up and tell you all about the tricky defense lawyer and the pixie dust that he throws into the jurors' eyes and the smoke in the mirrors, and it goes on and on. They've been doing that for decades. Now let me ask you, these jurors, they're citizen jurors. They're not professional jurors like they have in Europe. These jurors don't know the law. They don't do trials every day, and they're doing it as a civic duty. They're not being paid to do it. They're losing money. They're losing time from work to do their civic duty. Now, is it fair to expect these jurors to come in, listen to all of this evidence, and they learn the law from the first time when the judge tells them? And guess what? They don't even know what the law is during the trial. They're not told what the law is until all the evidence is over. And then it's like, oh, guess what? Here's what the law is. You know all that evidence you just heard? Well, now let me tell you the law so you could sort of figure it all out. In Europe, they have professional jurists. They know the law. Our citizen jurors do the best that they can. Now, is it fair to expect those jurors to convict somebody if they have a reason to doubt that they did it? Is it fair to expect those jurors to carry that doubt with them for the rest of their lives, wondering if they did the right thing? I don't think it's fair. But in any event, our jurors should not have to live with that question, that reason to doubt. Should the state carry the burden of proving its case beyond a reasonable doubt? Satisfactory to the jury? The answer is yes. This is Attorney Clay Dawson of the Dawson Law Firm. Thank you for watching.